When JY was 15, he remembered there was this once he was walking home late during the Hungry Ghost Festival. He had his earphones in, listening to music. As he was walking, he didn't notice that he was nearing the edge of a sidewalk when suddenly he felt something below his shoe. So he stopped and he looked down. And it turns out that he had stepped on nearly finished red candles and also kicked over a paper plate of unpeeled oranges. He didn't think to put the offerings properly, and he didn't even think to apologize. That night, when he was on his earphones listening to music, he noticed that the door to the master bedroom was open. And this was weird because it was usually shut, so he thought his parents were home. He went over, took a peek, and then he realized that out of nowhere, he saw a black figure outside the window. So it was floating for about a second before it whooshed off, as if it has been watching him the whole entire time. So this figure had no face, nor limbs. And just then, something else happened. Diagonally from where he sat, there was a spare room that no one was using. So the lights were off, and the door was wide open. Just imagine his fear when he saw a long black hair lying face down on the floor. It was coming out of the shadowy part of the room when the hair just suddenly swooped back into the darkness. He couldn't think straight, he didn't know what was going on. He just removed his earphones and he walked straight into that room. There was nothing. So he couldn't make sense of the whole situation, so he just went back to bed. He just closed his eyes as tight as he could, and somehow he miraculously fell asleep. The following day, his fever actually spiked to 40 degrees at this point, so he felt very sick. He had to go to the toilet, and as he was walking past the outer shelf in the living room, the oranges just suddenly dropped to the floor. He knew he definitely did not knock over any of the oranges. At this point, he was like, oranges, offerings, and he was like, shit. All this series of events that were happening, was it because he knocked over the offerings? He just dropped down to his knees and begged for forgiveness. So he just like, please leave me alone, I'm sorry. So his mom immediately rushed towards the kitchen to check on him, and he told her the whole incident and she freaked out. They hurriedly went to buy offerings and went back to the site where the incident happened. So once they got there, he actually placed the offerings down, said a few prayers and apologized. And the moment he got up, he suddenly felt this surge of strength to walk out. Like, he was completely just like, okay. So when they got to the clinic, the nurse took his temperature, and to his surprise, right, his fever just went down to 36 degrees. So that was when he knew, right, like, it was true. Because no one can forsake and recover from it instantly. And to be able to encounter all these weird things, right, was definitely paranormal. Just out of curiosity, for those of you who were dumb enough to kick over the offerings, has anything like this happened to you before?